From U.S. assessments of the ongoing conflagration in Ukraine to issues relating to China, the Middle East, and Washington's spying on key allies such as Israel, South Korea, and France, various installments of allegedly leaked U.S. military documents have surfaced on social media sites. In the last weeks. Hello, welcome to another video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about the leak of confidential U.S. documents. Before moving on to the content, we ask you to leave your like so we can know if we are delivering relevant content to you. Also leave your suggestions in the comments, let's exchange some ideas there. And don't forget to follow our channel, your audience is very important to us. Now, let's go to the video. An alleged leak of a trove of classified U.S. military documents posted on social media sites in recent weeks has prompted the Department of Justice to pen one criminal investigation. The U.S. investigators are described by the media as juggling several possible theories about the sources of the leaks related to U.S. military plans in Ukraine, classified information linked to China and the Middle East, as well as details on Washington's intelligence-gathering efforts. Theories are said to range from a disgruntled employee of the intelligence community to an insider targeting U.S. national security interests. Despite the fact that a portion of the documents has already been widely publicized by the media, the exact nature of the leaked Pentagon papers remains unclear. What do we know about the leaked classified Pentagon documents so far? Where did the alleged secret documents first appear? Documents labeled secret, top secret, and marked no foreign, meaning not to be disclosed to foreigners, are believed to date from late February and early March 2023. However, they only started to circulate on social media platforms and apps in recent weeks. They were reportedly first posted on a Minecraft channel on Discord, a popular messaging platform among gamers, and on the 4chan bulletin board. Subsequently, the documents reached more conventional channels such as Twitter, YouTube, and Telegram. The story was reported by the New York Times. According to the vehicle, most of the documents are photographic images of confidential Pentagon reports. Furthermore, it was added that they appeared to have been folded before being subsequently photographed. What are the leaked Pentagon documents about? Some batches of the leaked documents allegedly contained detailed information about U.S. military plans in Ukraine. The documents, dated March 1, 2023, allegedly contained information about advanced weapons deliveries, U.S. estimates of Ukrainians and Russians killed in the conflagration. The documents ostensibly reflect U.S. and Ukrainian perspectives on what is necessary for a counteroffensive. Furthermore, possible scenarios for deploying U.S. forces to the region were also presented in the paper trove. Some press vehicles say that the documents show the rate of HIMARS ammunition provided by USA, which was not previously disclosed by the Pentagon. U-Documents leaks online suggest key weaknesses in Ukraine's weaponry, air defense and readiness, and reveal U.S. penetration of Russia's Ministry of Defense and the Wagner Group mercenary organization. Due to the leak, the Ukrainian military command changed some military plans, according to sources close to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It is not known what was evidently changed. Apparent classified information about U.S. and NATO plans for Ukraine may have been leaked by U.S. military and government officials frustrated with the demand for a U.S. victory against Russia where none is possible. Karen Kwiatkowski, retired U.S. Air Force lieutenant colonel and former U.S. Department of Defense analyst. The former U.S. Department of Defense analyst pointed out that Ukrainian troops were essentially being sacrificed at the behest of the political masters of the Kyiv regime, and the current leak can be directed at U.S. policymakers and the American people and supports their growing skepticism about the war. Felipe Giraldi, a former CIA station chief who now serves as executive director of a non-profit anti-war advocacy group, the Council for the National Interest, said the materials, some of which are marked highly classified, were presumably leaked by someone senior in the Pentagon hierarchy. He added that the documents had apparently been put together for a military public feature. Limited tactical information. As for the timing of the leak, it could be interpreted as an indication that some people in the U.S. intelligence/military pipeline are getting tired of pointless support for Ukraine and are looking to embarrass the Biden administration to scale back its efforts, the expert argued. Thinking about the fact that a series of leaked briefing documents were ostensibly prepared for General Mark Milley, a former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer. USA, Scott Ritter suggested, what if the leak came from within the U.S. military? Others may believe that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff may be hesitant to give the green light to a Ukrainian spring offensive and try to release material to force General Milley's hand, Ritter said. How did Washington's allies react to the leaked Pentagon documents? In addition to Ukraine, the leaked documents also contains classified information about Washington's security interests in various corners of the world, as well as its intelligence-gathering efforts in China. It is net middle average. This batch of documents is said to include detailed maps and instructional slides. One slide, supposedly dated February 23, was labeled Secret/No Foreign. Thus, in excerpts posted on social media, there are at least 2 discussions of South Korea's deliberations on supplying the U.S. with artillery shells for use in Ukraine, in violation of Seoul's policy to provide lethal aid. South Korean officials were ostensibly concerned that President Joe Biden was calling his South Korean counterpart, Yoon Suk-yeol, in order to pressure Seoul to hand over the projectiles in question. Another document, allegedly from the CIA, revealed that the U.S. found out about the internal debate in South Korea by a signals intelligence report, a term used for intercepted communications. As for Israel, a leaked document, classified as top secret, said that in February, senior officials of the country's intelligence organization advocated that Mossad officials and Israeli citizens protest against judicial reforms proposed by the new Israeli government, including several explicit appeals to the action that condemned the Israeli government, according to signals intelligence. On April 9, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office vehemently rejected this allegation. A batch of leaked Pentagon documents allegedly contained a slide that suggested the presence of a small contingent of less than 100 special operations personnel from France, the United States, Great Britain and Latvia, NATO members, allegedly active in Ukraine. This quickly led the French Ministry of Defense to deny that there were French soldiers on Ukrainian soil. What did the experts say about the leak of secret Pentagon documents? Once news of the alleged leak of Pentagon documents broke, experts expressed concern about potential risks to U.S. national security. The leaks represent a significant security breach that could affect Ukraine's military planning, said former senior Pentagon official Mick Mulroy. While defense officials have admitted the leaked documents are legitimate, they have indicated that the files appear to have been tampered with, as some estimates of casualties related to the conflict in Ukraine have been exaggerated. National Security Council spokesman retired Rear Admiral John Kirby warned that such leaks of classified documents could endanger U.S. troops and their allies. Ukraine has rejected the allegedly fictitious documents as Russian disinformation. On Friday, April 7, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov commented on reports about the leaks, saying that Russia has no doubt that the U.S. and NATO are directly or indirectly involved in the conflict in Ukraine, with the level of involvement gradually increasing over time. On April 10, Peskov commented on claims that Moscow was behind the leak, stressing that the tendency to blame Russia for everything is a common disease. What happens next? As U.S. defense and intelligence officials embark on investigations to uncover the source of the alleged leaks, the revelations will have no impact on the actual conduct of the conflict, according to U.S. defense analyst Scott Ritter. In addition to creating noise on the internet for a few days, the leaks will have an equally minimal impact on public opinion, he guessed. Are the disclosures over, or are they still keeping even more compromising and overwhelming documents? What do you think? And that's it, folks. We hope you enjoyed today's video about the leak of confidential U.S. documents. What did you think? Leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and follow our channel for more interesting content like this. To the next